Hari Lal ki Jai. Everybody, let's all stand as we begin this morning with Arti. Sajam Chavarti Sanyuktam Grahina Yojitam Mayam Deepam Grehana Devesham Trailokya Timidapaham
Jai Bhagavat Bhagavan ki Aarati Papiyo ko paap se taari Jai Jai Bhagavat Bhagavan ki Aarati Papiyo ko paap se ज्योति जगाने वाला ये अमर ग्रंथ ये मूर्ति पंथ पंचम वेद निराला नव ज्योति जगाने वाला हरि ज्ञान यही वरदान यही हरि ज्ञान यही वरदान यही जगती मंगल की पापियों को पाप से तारती जय जय भागवत भगवान की आरती पापियों को पाप से तारती गीत पावन पुनीत श्वापों को मिटाने वाला हरि दर्श दिखाने वाला ये शांति गीत पावन पुनीत श्वापों को मिटाने वाला हरि दर्श दिखाने वाला हे सुख करनी हे दुख हरनी हे सुख करनी हे दुख हरनी ये मधुसूदन की आरती पापियों को पाप से तारती जय जय भागवत भगवान की आरती पापियों को पाप से तारती बोल जगपंग को सन्मार्ग दिखाने वाला बिगड़ी को बनाने वाला ये मधुर बोल जगपंग को सन्मार्ग दिखाने वाला बिगड़ी को बनाने वाला श्री राम यही घनश्याम यही श्री राम यही घनश्याम यही प्रभु की महिमा की आरती पापियों को पाप से तारती जय जय भागवत भगवान की आरती पापियों को पाप से तारती गोविंद Radha Raman Hari Govind bolo,
Radha Ramana Hari Govinda bolo,
Govind bolo Hari Gopal bolo,
Govinda bolo Hari Gopal bolo,
Govind bolo Hari Gopal bolo,
Govinda bolo Hari Gopal bolo,
oh Radha Raman Hari Govind bolo,
Radha Ramana Hari Govinda bolo,
Shri Krishna Govind Hari Murari, Shri Krishna Govind Hari Murari,
Shri Krishna Govinda Hari Murari,
He Nath Narayan Vasudeva,
He Nath Narayana Vasudeva,
He Nath Narayan Vasudeva,
Narayana Vasudeva,
oh Govind bolo Hari Gopal bolo, Govind bolo Hari Gopal bolo, Radha Raman Hari Govind bolo, Radha Raman Hari Govind bolo, Govind bolo, Govind bolo, Govind bolo.
Om Gajananam Bhutaganaadisevitam Kapeta Jambu Panacharabhakshitam Umasutam Sho Kavinashkarakam Namami Viganeshwara Sarvamangalamangali
Shive Sarvat Sariki,
Sharanye Trayambike Gauri Narayani Namostute Gurur Brahma
Gurur Vishnu,
Gurur Devo Maheshwara Gurur Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. One more time. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki Jai. Everybody, please have your seat. Make yourself comfortable. Cordial welcome and Sitaram again to everybody. Welcome to our 13th session this morning of Bhagavad. This morning we enter into chapter 56, 57 of Skandha 10. And now our Kanha, as we've heard, he's married to Rukmani, he has his first son and all the troubles. Last night we heard he got married to Satyabhama. And this morning, Sukadeva Goswami says Satrajit had committed an offense. This person called Satrajit had committed an offense. And because of this, it led to a leela that caused the personality of Jamwant to become involved with this incarnation of Lord Vishnu called Krishna. For some time he had been waiting, and now it was his opportunity to interact with Lord Krishna. So Raja Parikshit, just like me and you at this point, we don't know who Satrajit is. He says, who is this person you're talking about? What mistake could he have done? What infraction could he have done that leads to trouble with Lord Krishna? Lie down, lie down. And what problem led to Jamwant now having to interact with Lord Krishna? Could you please tell to me this? Before we begin with that, everybody, please clasp your hands and ask God to bless you this morning as we listen to another discourse taken from the 10th Skandha of Bhagavad. Redhi Siddhi Data Siddhi Sadhana Vadana Vadana Sumiro Badamban Madana Kadana Ke Lalako Ganapati Kripa Nidan Jnana Kani Ananda Bhavana Dehu Mohi Vardhan Varno Bhasha Bhagavata Jai Shiva Ananda Kanda Bhutanatha Bhaubhaya Harana Bhakti Vishaya Nirvan Gaudavadana Mangala Karana He Braja Chandra Mukunda Rajabhushana Dushana Harana Katahu Bhavaya Panda Sharana Sharana Le Anakara Jai 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 Jagadisha Sevata Shesha Mahesha Jam Mahima Mitra Deva Veda Veda Janata Rahe Redhi Siddhi Data Siddhi Sadhana Vadana Vadana Sumiro Badamban Sumiro Badamban Madana Kadana Ke Lalako Vindravan Bihari Lala Ki Jai. This discourse is given in different Puran, and there are subtle differences that come in Bhagavad, that come in Devi Bhagavad, that happen in different texts where this episode is given. This is a very important discourse for different reasons. In Devi Bhagavad, this said discourse is given as part of the Mahatyam of Devi Bhagavad. In this discourse, you will hear where Lord Krishna goes missing for some time. He gets entrapped in a battle. And the father of Krishna, Vasudeva, and this is according to Devi Bhagavad, he gets frightened, he's not seeing his son going for some days, and he goes and he sits down and he starts to do Navaratri Brat. And when at the end, according to Devi Bhagavad, he lifted the kalsa with the coconut, as we call that coconut we worship, we call that the mother, that's the murti. And he was going to close off his vrat. As he had said his prayer, dear God, my heart desire is for my son to walk through this door. And according to the Mahatyam, in that moment, Krishna walks through the door. Today, for our knowledge and better understanding of Lord Krishna, and to hear the holy scripture of the Srimad Mahabhagavad Puran, we're going to listen to how a gem caused a lot of trouble. Another place you will hear this discourse, you know, we have a rule when Ganesh Utsav come in, we're not supposed to look at the full moon. There's a prayer if somebody happens to look at the full moon. If they start, you realize in this life, now the problem with the full moon, for children to understand, that particular full moon, because of the magnetic pull, the moon is bigger, it comes closer to the earth, so it looks bigger in the sky, and the magnetic pull is affecting things like the ocean, the waves, the same water in the beach starts to get big, and then people start to act different. The magnetic is interfering with the brain now. So some people act sleepy, sluggish, heavy. Some people get very hyper. Some people get very emotional. It affects things like the girl who has the baby. You will hear, based on people's experiences, midwives will tell you, well, the doctor says she's due at the end of the month, but full moon is coming midway. So baby, they expect that the magnetic pull of this moon is going to hamper this baby, and 1, 2, 3 baby born, truthfully. Many people, they expect that I'm going to stay till term, but because of the phase of the moon, the magnetism of the moon interferes with something, it's unseen. But there is a proven track record of the moon and how it interferes with the belly when there's a baby, when there's the monthly cycle. Because of the moon, again, it interferes. In the same way, this magnetic pull affects a person that you are going to get false accusation. You're going to get blame. People will not like you. People will not want to hear you. It doesn't matter what you say, you're going to get blame. And every full moon, that happens. If you know, people in all them love show like to watch the moon and gaze at the full moon. The Sanatanists believe by doing that, you're taking a chance with yourself. So yes, every full moon, go in, try to not look at it. If you happen to look at it, say Ganesh mantra. The one when is Ganesh Utsav, that one, there's a passage, a prayer. If you happen to read it, if you happen to watch it, sorry, you have to read this prayer. Where does this prayer come from? In our Katha today, when Lord Krishna goes to battle somebody, he goes looking for a gem, as you will hear shortly. The little conversation when he sees the gem, where it is, and the person who is watching over the gem, that is the prayer. From this discourse, that is the prayer. The person says it so that nobody must get blamed the way Lord Krishna got blamed. To give you a little insight, he is in trouble today because he happened to see the full moon at that time in September, thereabout, when it's Ganesh Utsav. So he is blamed for 1 whole year, false accusation. And this was like the heightened point for that. So till today, we use practical application. Somebody is attacking you. Somebody is falsely, the police want to, somebody say you kill somebody. So they want to lock you up too. From minor to major, it comes in different forms depending on the person. And the person listens to this discourse. The person remembers the little passage that I'm hinting. I shared it in all the groups and Facebook and so on. So it's there. And every year when it comes, or every time you feel in the marriage, in the family, in the brother-sister relationship, in the neighbor relationship, but how could somebody think I said you thief the lettuce? I never said that. But your name calling, you are getting the blame. This is something to help. It is created for that purpose. Because the victim today of the false accusation in this discourse is Lord Krishna himself. Sometimes we think, just as we said when Pradyamna, the first child of Krishna, is born, we think because people are placed in high position or they are very religious or very spiritual, bad things don't happen to them. But bear in mind at the very onset of our Katha, that you could be what? You could have what stripes on your shoulder. You could have what ranking. You are on this earth. You are here to receive karmic punishment or karmic blessing. God bless you when things are good. But don't forget, it's coming. Some form of pain, some form of trouble in different form. It affects us all. Vindravan Bihari Lala Ki Jai. By the end of our discourse this morning, there is a passage called Bhu Suktam. For the benefit, I'll explain what that is about shortly. Let's join together as we do a couple of verses here to understand what the trouble is. Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Namah. Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Namah. Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Namah. Satam Brihti Kante प्रद्युमनयत रवि प्रविष्टि द्वारकानाथ राजन स्थिति पर्णो नो फालीक्षये यातम. Everybody.
परमात्माय नमो नमः. नारायणाय कृष्णाय परमात्माय नमो नमः. नारायणाय कृष्णाय परमात्माय नमो नमः.
नारायण नमस्तुभ्यं तप शंख चक्र गदाधर दामोदर वृक्ष्या गोविंद यदुनंदन हे कृष्णा गोविंद नमः.
नारायणाय कृष्णाय परमात्माय नमो नमः.
नारायणाय कृष्णाय
परमात्माय नमो नमः. नारायणाय कृष्णाय परमात्माय नमो नमः.
Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai. Sukdev Goswami begins by telling Raja Parikshit that Surya was a very good friend. Surya the sun was very good and close, intimate, very near and dear to the devotee called Satrajit. They were very kind to one another. They would bring nice things and literally like two friends. I cook this, look some. That kind of relationship. Not only God and devotee. And one day, Surya Narayana Swami gives to Satrajit a gem that glowed with the energy that is captured inside of it. In the study of gemology, I believe off the top of my head is Agni Puran. Where does gem come from? The ruby, the diamond, these things. There was a Muni and he did his prayer and he said he wanted to allow his legacy to be immortalized on this earth. But that was his prayer, the wording. And at one point when he gets cut and the blood starts to drip on the earth, from the dripping of the blood, according to Agni Puran, came the different gems that were lodged into the earth. If a person uses gem, according to gemology, which is a part of the patra, depending on the devta the person is trying to overcome, you wear it on your right hand ring finger because of the vein and the arteries that take the blood around your circulation. And from the wedding, the Gra Puja, you'll see it in different places. Let the sunlight hit this gem, charge the wavelength on the gem, and allow that wavelength to go into your bloodstream and protect your aura from the different type of attack, the different type of onslaught, the different type of enemy that a person has. So for example, on the wedding ring, when we invocate Ganesh Baba to sit there, when the sun hits the wedding ring and it gets into that wavelength of energy, that light energy gets into the bloodstream, transform this person from today, O Ganesh. Make them more responsible, more committed. Think about it, not because somebody gets married by word of mouth, from today, Mr. and Mrs. this and that, means the person is going to think, I wonder if she's going to cook today, I wonder if she needs tomatoes tomorrow, should I buy a bread? I went by somebody's home, maybe when I'm coming home I'll pick up something on the roadway. That mindset is something that is growing on the person. That level of maturity is something that is developed, and that development is aided by the use of gems. So in this case, the solar energy is charged within the gem and it is sitting on the neck of this friend of Surya Narayana Swami. As he is walking, the energy that is glowing, it seems in our language today, it would be as if it was a touchlight. It was radiating this amount of light, and not only light, but also the heat. So people started to pray. The people who didn't know better, they asked Krishna, oh son of the Yadhu dynasty, oh Govinda, is this Surya Dev coming into your courtway? If he is Surya, he is so scorching, he will damage us, sunburn for everybody, damage skin, and they get frightened. He is not supposed to be this close. How could he be so close? Krishna laughs at them as they sat in that Sudharma hall, the hall that is given when we heard the Katha about how he builds Dwarka and why he builds Dwarka. Indra gave him this hall to have meetings, this entire construct called Sudharma. In that place where Krishna sits on his throne and he's talking to them, he laughs at them. Oh, foolish people, that is not Suryanarayan, that is Satrajit. Don't you know the glow of a devotee? That person who has the energy of the Devta with them, they glow, sometimes more than the Devta. Verse 10. Satrajit entered into that great affluent hall like if it were a mansion, and he only added to the luster of all the gems that are embedded in the walls. His energy was charging those gems, so it looked as if it came to life and it started to glow. Everybody praised. What energy, what resonation is this? And every day, this gem encouraged, it caused food to multiply, sickness, epidemic, calamity to decrease, serpent and all other forms of predators to be docile. Bears went to sleep in their cave, for example, and did not prowl in the vicinity of Dwarka to cause harm to other people. In the treasury of Dwarka, so long as Satrajit was there in the city, the natural amount of gold was increasing. And one day, Krishna tells Satrajit, why don't you put this gem, this Swayamtak gem, around the neck of Ugrasen in Mathura? He would be very happy for it. He would be very grateful. He would be able to benefit and his people would benefit. So he did. He gives in and he a little hesitant, but he gives it nonetheless. And then one day, the brother of Satrajit, he wants to wear the gem too. Let's hear what happens in this verse. Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Namah. Narayanaya Paramatmaya Namo Namah. Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Namah. Etam Kara Prasinayate Mahaprabhya Prinasitayatam Hridaya Puruya Mrigaye Dwara Ye Tvam Chitta Paraye Yati. Narayanaya Krishnaya So one day, Satrajit had a younger brother named Prasen. And just as children, your brother has something, I want it now, toy. He tells big brother, I want to wear that gem today. He says, no problem. Go to Ugrasen in Mathura, collect the gem, and bring it back to Dwarka where I am. And let that fulfill your desire of wearing the gem. So Prasen goes, meets Ugrasen with all respect. I've come to collect the gem. Nobody had talk about Krishna. A brother tell a brother, I want to wear the gem. Went, collected the gem, put it on, jumped on his horse, and started to move from Mathura to Dwarka. But in the moving, had to pass through little lonely spots in the forest. Let's hear what happens when he's going through that one. Prasim sahayam hridayati Kesariye giriye vejanti Bhataye nihatoya muniya Ye prasim maraye atam Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Narayanaya Krishnaya While she's going, a lion snatches him, attacks him, kills him, kills the horse, and allows them to now be ripped apart. But the lion saw the gem blinking, beaming this energy, and snatches that too to take to his cub. Along the way, the lion is destroyed, and it finds its way into the keeping of somebody named Jamwan. Jamwan saw it, and he picks up the gem and carries it for his cub in his cave where the little one is playing. He takes it home like a toy and gives it to the child. Priya Krishna Nitotam Mani Grivo Vangatayate Prata Mada Tancha Yena Ye Kundayan Janayate Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. Jamwant is the bear that you've heard about in Ramayana. Who the person in Sundarkan that tells Hanumanji, you have the inherent ability to complete this task of crossing this water. That same Jamwant, now older fella, picks up the gem and takes it to his child. No mention, in all fairness, of Krishna involved in this transaction, nowhere. But when the Prasen did not reach back in time, Satrajit becomes uncomfortable. He wants to know where his brother is. 1, 2, where is the gem? So he raises the alarm. It has been some time and he has not come back. He was expected to return at a particular hour. A small group of soldiers start a search. And what they find, a person opened the chest of Prasen, ripped him open like an animal. But instead of thinking it was a predator in the bush, the first thing that came to the mind of Satrajit, Krishna wanted me to give this gem to Ugrasen. Krishna wanted it because it is causing the amplification of the treasury. He wants the gold. Krishna killed my brother. Verse 16. Krishna is the murderer who destroyed my brother. And he started to say this more and more. You know, for some people, you repeat a lie enough times, that rumor that is spreading, that is whispering because it's juicy, starts to become law. It starts to become so set that it must be true. And this is what started to happen. In the city of Dwarka, where he was protecting, as we heard, what were the initial people? Who are the people of Dwarka? Who are the people of Krishna? People that once lived in Mathura, that transferred into this fortress of a city for their benefit and their protection. Krishna was never a king. Krishna grew up, he's born to a king, but he grew up as a cowherder. So when he reaches to Mathura, where does he get people to lead, or to caretake, or to house? Last time we heard how he finds 16,000 girls and he puts them in separate housing for their safety. The city of Dwarka is described not just as a city, but as a fortress. When we heard the Katha where Jarasandhya, the father-in-law of Kans, is coming to attack and they want protection. The same people he is providing care, love, protection, sustenance. These same people now. Our king is a murderer. Our king is a murderer. He killed Prasen for this gem. And in reality, he had nothing to do with it, but his name is being dragged. When Krishna heard this same rumor, he felt very hurt. And he went in search of the gem, knowing Prasen has been killed. When he leaves the city and he goes into the bush, he is the one who stumbles across of the carcass of the lion. And he put it together that the lion, because of the marks and the vicious tears on the body of Prasen, it must be the lion who did that way of murdering Prasen. Why am I being persecuted because of this? When he continues to walk, he comes across a big cave. And at a distance, in the darkness of the cave, he saw the glowing of the gem, beaming. And he wants to go and get the gem. And there was, let me just say for our language, a babysitter, caretaker, watching over this young. Whenever somebody looks at the moon in that time, if it happened, it happened. What do I do? How could I fix it? If somebody is getting too much false blame, there is an interaction between, it's not given in Bhagavad, but the interaction in Devi Bhagavad, where the babysitter talks to Krishna, that the person who is being blamed like you should be forgiven. It's a prayer, an invocation. Please be on the lookout. Closer to Ganesh Utsav, I'll share it with you so you'll have it. Use it for this type of purpose. Because whilst we have prayers for exams, we have prayers for money, we have prayers for life, freedom from death, Om Triambakam, etc. Very rare do you get a prayer or a mantra that is suitable to counteract slander, false accusation, that type of problem. So when you get this gem, you hold on to it and you could use it every day. It doesn't have to be associated with any moon phase or a titi or any particular prayer. It is a jap or the usage of this mantra that will help. Let's hear what happens as Krishna went to hold the gem around the child playing with it like a toy. No value for it, but it blinking, so it attractive. Let's hear what happens. Jaya Bhole Baba Tab Sharanam, 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 Bhagvat se yudha Swami Nat Pada Purusha Prakriti Yena Mantva Kupitatam Nanu Bhavati Vitayate Jaya Bhole Baba Tab Sharana Jaya Bhole Baba Tab Sharana Jaya Bhole Baba Tab Sharana Jaya Bhole Jaya Samba Sada Shiva Tab Sharana Jaya Samba Sada Shiva Tab Sharana. When he went to hold the gem, the growl of the parent was heard. But inside the cave is very dark. It's an animal's cave. In this state, they want to sleep. So it is very dark and desolate. But the beaming of the gem is showing where the child is. So he goes to hold the gem, and somewhere further in the cave is the growl of the parent. Why are you touching my young? In two twos, like two hawks fighting for, verse 23, fighting for a piece of meat, combat ensued between these two, and a tumultuous fight happened. Using weapons, using rocks, using trees, using their arms for 28 day and night. Krishna and the parent of this bear, Jamon, started to hit each other with fists, with hard kicks, thunderbolt like lash. Sukdev Goswami tells Parikshit, these two, the fight seemed as if two equals were fighting. Jena tvaya sarva bhutana brahma ajo ma bhallate Vishnu puran purushtaye prati Vishnu yati Jaya bole Baba Jab Sharana Jaya bole Baba Jab Sharana Jaya Samba Sada Shiva Tava Sharanam Jaya Samba Sada Shiva Tava Sharanam. Sukdev Goswami sings the praises of Lord Vishnu in this verse. He says the prayer of his devotee, when done ardently, when done genuinely, whatever it is, regardless of how different, difficult, or outrageous it is, Lord Vishnu would grant that person's prayer. For this moment, Krishna becomes truly Vasudeva, the keeper of the promise. To understand what is happening here, or what is about to happen, you have to understand the history of who Jamond is. Jamond is an immortal, just as Hanuman is. Jamond is born in, according to Valmiki's Ramayana, in Balkan, when creation was happening, and Brahma thinks about making what we call Vanar and then subsequent human. So he went monkey, create them, Vanar, which is a mixture of monkey and human features. So for example, the Vanar stand up straight, their body, their spine is erect, they are not on all four, they have a thumb, and evolutionary science shows that this exists. This missing link is Homo erectus, and that form of Homo erectus is what we call Hanuman. People like to say we pray to a monkey, but if you look at the features of a monkey, where it is on all fours, I wonder how a monkey would be like Sugriv or Bali, able to use different weapons such as bow and arrow, and in order to run, they have to be on all fours. The description that is given when he was thinking these things, Brahma describes exactly what he wants in terms of their spine, in terms of their hand or their appendage. If the monkey only has the four, how is he going to hold the bow or pull the arrow without this thumb? This thumb in our development as Homo sapiens or humans is a big deal. With this thumb finger and the big toe, a person got balance in a different way. If a person for whatever reason loses their big toe, you lose your balancing. You can't stand up. Every step you make, you will falter to fall, if not fall. In that creation where he makes new appendage, as he's developing the form, he started to make the Vanar form now. So the new features such as the thumb, or what I just say thumb toe, the big toe, these things were developing in his mind, and the monkey and the Vanar come from his mouth. When it came out the first time, not from his mouth, sorry, from his sweat, Jamwan jumped out as he yawned. In that creative process, Jamwant is associated with Sugriv because of this. That when the monkeys were being made, all the different variety from the drops of sweat from his cheeks. In Kamba Ramayana, Jamwant comes from the cheek of Brahma. And when he was forming these Vanar and these different very intelligent people, Jamant comes from his mouth, and for this reason Jamant is called the son of Brahma, because of all the creation, Jamant sat down and told Brahma, my desire is I wish to see the unfolding, the play of time, and I wish to see the power of Lord Vishnu. So Jamant is the only person that remained alive. He's created when Vaman walked the earth, according to Kamba Ramayana, and he remains to see every subsequent incarnation of Lord Vishnu. We highlight him a lot in Ram Janam, where he does work for the Lord. But at the end of Ram Janam in Ramayana, in Ram Gita, when Sri Ram is in Suryo River getting ready to leave, he says, "Oh Jamant, ask me for what you want. Ask me for any gift." This is when Hanuman Baba is told, live upon the earth. When it have Yag, you be the first one to reach and the last one to leave, etc. Become Chiranjeevi, immortal. Everybody was getting their blessing, and then came Jamant, his turn. When Jamant went up to the Lord, he says, "Prabhu, I have seen you in this form, that form, the other form. And I am born with the power from the body of Brahma. I am born with this age, immortal strength. But I don't know if I am more strong or you are more strong." And I'm paraphrasing in my words, not from the text, verbatim. He says, "I have this desire that I wish to fight you. I want to, in the truest sense, I don't want you to let me win or in any way placard me and allow me to feel I'm stronger or any leela like that. Because I know how you try to please your devotee. In other words, I would like to be truthfully your enemy. I want you to fight me with your full vigor so that I might know if I am stronger or you are stronger. So that doubt inside of my mind, it doesn't mean I don't love you, I don't worship you. But I have a doubt about your strength. I think I have the confidence that I could beat you. If you take out that doubt inside of me and you convince me and show me your true power and awe, I would be able to have only more devotion for you because of that strength and that display of your power." He tells him, surely you will get what you want, but you have to wait. Stay upon the earth. You have been waiting here when I was in the dwarf form, when I was in nursing form, when I was in Varaha form, all these different forms. You were there. You saw the unfolding of the Leela. And as you age and enter into family life, because at this time in Ramayana, he's single and he's a warrior. He's picking up weapons and fighting shoulder to shoulder with Hanuman, etc. He says, as you enter into family life and waiting for me, I will come. In that time, you'll be a little older and more seasoned in the art of war. And there I will test you. And if you could make me out, if you could recognize me as my devotee, there is where you win. Fast forward to our Bhagavad. Ram left the earth and now Krishna is walking the earth. And it so happened that the moment came that somebody came to touch the child of Jamant in his cave. No warning, no advertising. You know, the king is coming, you hear blaring of trumpets, you see flags, you see the royal insignia. None of that. A person walk into his house and try to touch his child. And because at that moment, now he is getting very aggressive. He starts to growl and they start to fight. And for 28 days, according to this text in Devi Bhagavad, they say 10 days non-stop. 28 day and night. Imagine two men fighting like long time wrestling. And they would not let loose of each other. And each one is giving it their all, their full strength. Now, coming to the end of the fight. Coming for the time to finish. Jamant realized all his joint, all his limbs were being dislocated, being crushed. The fist of Krishna, whilst he's young, he is so strong. My body feels as if I am being beaten as a bull who is toting heavy loads. And when this started to sink in his head, and he started to realize one is stronger than the other, but I am not the stronger one. He says, look, he is dry and I am coated in perspiration. He makes this look so easy and I am fighting to fight. I'm in pain. And when from the corner of his eye he blinked, and where there was Krishna, he saw Sri Ram. Verse 28. he sees Sri Ram as a little indicator to remind the person, after all these years from last yug to this yug, this is the form you were waiting on. This is what you were waiting to see. And when he blinked again, imagine somebody just squeals out, Prabhu. From fighting the enemy, he wants to love his Lord. And when he blinked, he saw Krishna. And he dropped to the knees, dropped on his knees to the feet of Krishna. And he begged for forgiveness, that I did not mean to fight you. If I only knew that you were my Lord and Master, I wouldn't fight you. He says, do you remember your prayer? You have been alive for all these years and it is within you. You have the mental ability and capability to remember what you prayed for. And as Krishna held his shoulder and made him stand, all the pain, all the suffering, all the cuts, all the bruises went away, and all the pain of the bear was left by the touch, all the fatigue left by the touch of Krishna. Krishna explains to him his Leela, that he came because of this Swayam Mantak gem. He was falsely blamed and he came to free his name. Because of Prasen being murdered, I am here. And for this reason, I have come to retrieve this gem to head back to Dwarka. Jaman says, please listen before you leave. I'll accept something from me. Let's hear what he offers him. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Shakti Rupena Samsita Namastasye Namastasye Yukta Swayam Bharaye Dutam Kanya Jamanti Muniye Yatav Jamanti Krishna Poyar Padar Ye Yati Namastasye 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 Namo Namah Shakti Rupena Samhita. Shri Vishnu Bhagwan ki Jai. He says, as a father, the best gift that I could give, Prabhu, if somebody good comes by your home, our etiquette, our dharma is to treat our guest as our God. And you try to give your guest the best hospitality, the best of what you could afford or what is within your reach to give this person because of the divinity they represent. Today, I am not thinking that you represent divinity. I know who you are. And you are the most divine, you are the Prakriti, you are the Purusha, you are the energy that lives inside of everybody. Allow me to give you Dan. Allow me to have your blessing in this way. And Krishna listens and he says, I as a father, the best gift that I could give you is a daughter's hand in marriage. If you permit me to do Kanyadan and you accept my daughter, not the little one with the gem, older child, Jamanti, you would do me the highest favor of giving me that type of benediction that I was able to give this dan to you. As he accepted this offer, Jamant married Jamanti to Lord Krishna. Jamanti is the youngest wife of Lord Krishna. And when the people of Dwarka did not see Krishna come back to their home, they started to do Chandrabhaga, or another name for the goddess Durga, her prayer. Just as we were saying in Devi Bhagavad, we have Navratri Brat. Everybody sat down and they prayed to Mother, and they prayed and asked that, Mother, you are the goddess of power. Please return our ruler, our Lord to us. And as their prayer was finishing, Krsna and now Jamanti, his consort, walked through the door. But this time when he's coming through the door, he has the gem on his chest and he's glowing incessantly. When he reached back to Sudharma, the hall, he calls Satrajit and he tells him, you have marred my name, you have dragged my name, and it was for the wrong reason. For this, why would you taint? 1 minute you love me. What type of devotee, what type of follower, what type of, even if let's say neighbor, you live in Dwarka, knowing that there's a chance you don't have enough information, but you are only ready to pull down my name. You are ready to drag me. Satrajit, you have disappointed me. Satrajit listened to it and he goes one side and he thinks to himself, what could he do? What could he do to save himself? Let's hear what happens as Satrajit gains in the next chapter here the benefit of attacking Krsna. Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Namah. Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Namah. Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Namah. Evam Bhimatishyatvam Satrajitamara Satyate Swayam Takyena Lidhalyatam Papishena Jivantika. Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Namah. Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Namah. Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki Jai. Bhishma, Kripa, Vidur, Gandhari, Drona, all of the people living in Hastinapur, they get to hear that the Pandavas and Kunti, they are attacked when they were living in a house that was made of wax. This is a different part of Mahabharata. When all this is happening, Krsna had given back all the while Satrajit his belonging. But Kartavarma, another person, Shatadanva, another person, they wanted the gem. Greed started to attract them to this gem. They want the gold. And it says that when Satrajit was sleeping, they plot, they plan, and they murdered him. Sukdev Goswami says, just as you assassinate a person's character, just as you pull down, you break, you bind that person and hurt that person by your false accusation, when you relish in all forms of slander and defaming a person, especially if you know it is not truth, then that person yields that type of karma, that they would be slaughtered and slandered in the same way. That sometimes when we see people going through hard murder, they're undergoing different type of experience. Where a man go do to die like that? One of the cause of when you see people losing their life, it says here, like the butcher that has to cut the beast, the animal. In the same way, Satrajit was not only killed, not to say gentle, but he was butchered. Sometimes you see these things happen, and God is in charge of everybody. And maybe in the moment it's hard to tell somebody, well, you know, that is karma. The truth is, bad things are happening on a daily basis to good people. There must be something behind it. And in his discretion, Lord Vishnu gives a person not that they did not deserve it, but in this example of Satrajit, understand something caused it. When Satrajit was destroyed in this horrific way, Satyabhama was the one who saw, and she heard the squealing, so she runs to hold his family. And when they saw the macabre and the blood and the gore of the moment, she fainted. The son of Satrajit says, I understand this. Verse 11, chapter 57. I am not going to ill speak. I am not going to bad talk, simple language, bad talk, Krishna or Balram. I will not offend them. I will not beat them. I will not break them in any way. I will not take this mouth and make karma that will one day cause me pain. I will learn from my father's mistake. I will learn from this error, and I will improve on myself. Krishna did not say a word. He did not say this is what the person deserved, this is not out of envy, but you live by karma, and in this example, die by karma. There are people that will have a easy, a very nice death and transition, and then there are some people that linger and suffer. And you know the story. We talked about old age home last night. Not everybody gets to walk. Excuse me. Not everybody could talk. Not everybody could eat. There are people that have to get colostomy bag. They can't go to the washroom normal. And imagine, forget everything about what other people will say. Put aside that. Think about how the person feels about themselves when they're in this moment. And you ask yourself, and you hear people, whenever we go to the hospital to pray for people, Pandit, did God forget me? I feel as if God put me here and he leave me alone, he forget me. And in this way, the purpose of Katha like this is to remind a person that even Krishna had the impact of karma. When you're looking at the moon, he went through hardships. Another example, a different type of hurt compared to when he lost his child. Everybody is affected on this earth by karma. Heaven is different. Krishna comes upon the earth to play the part of a normal human, just as he did in Ram Janam. You and I have to be cognizant of the decisions of not only our deeds. When you're doing Gayatri Havan, when you're doing Havan for prayers, and the last 3 times you're doing Gayatri, why? Dear God, every time I say Gayatri mantra, the pain, the sin I created of 24 hours is going. Dear God, if this mouth say anything to cause pain, forgive me. If this brain I was thinking destructive things, harmful things, hurtful things, please forgive me. If I did anything to harm and hurt somebody, please forgive me. Let me use an example. Imagine, whenever you have a gathering of people, you could imagine somebody, we talked about last night, how some people, parents, teach you how to interact, how to behave, how to conduct yourself, etiquette. It is my experience that sometimes people have their good intention to have yag and to have, we want to share food, we want to do this, we want to do this. But then you come across somebody who has a little less training. And the way they might speak to, not the Baba, they're on the right point. But how they talk to the little girl or the little boy or the elder, this is where you cook for a big man, so you go handmaid. in an insultive tone. But all the person is trying to do is put a ticker on your forehead, but you get buffet. The person trying to take out a little food for you, this tasting good, I don't want this, I don't like it, in a very abusive tone. And you may not realize, but you're hurting that person. And in hurting the person, you're in the prayers, yes, but you are accruing karma. And when bad comes to you, you go say, well, I used to go Bhagavad every day, I go in Ramayana every night, I go in, but trouble still coming for me. And there are people, I'm telling you, there are people will ill speak everything. They will slander anybody. They will tell themselves, I'm in prayers, and I'm using just the prayers as an example. I'm in prayers, I eat in parasad until my belly get bigger than Keshava one. I eat in all the blessed stuff. But you're not behaving in a blessed way. You are becoming the Ravan in somebody's story. You are the demon in somebody's life. Oh God, yes, see who reach. Oh God, she going to tell me something. And that starts at home. What it does, it shows that somebody didn't teach you proper decorum. That your karma, your story was to have a mouth that everybody will dread. Nobody wants to listen. Nobody wants to hear a word you have to say, because you don't have the karma to be positive or to be sattvic. You don't check yourself. In your marriage, your husband or your wife cannot say, hello, hold up, I think you're going wrong. You shouldn't have spoken like that to that lady. You don't know the person, you don't know the pocket. How could you attack their prayer, their menu, or whatever they offer you? How could you aggressively speak like that? Don't you hear yourself? Think about that. When you hear somebody speaks in an innotation or in a vile way, in an upsetting way, to hurt people, and I'm using the example of prayers. Forget that you have marriage, you have family, you have many examples, the work. Don't you hear yourself? When you say these things, don't you see the pain on the grimace on the person's face? Instead of you are adding value, you are creating enemy, you are hurting the person. I bow to God in the pity, I bow to God in the metal murti, I bow to God in the stone murti, but the God that is in the heart and the flesh of this person, hurt, harm, damn, blame. And that's okay in your text. This is an example, just like Satrajit became the enemy of Krsna, and he's brutally meted. Because Surya is his best friend and he has the glowing gems doesn't mean you are perfect. And if you don't check ourselves, that Abhiman could really ruin your story. You start off wonderful, we all end up as babies playing and frolicking and everything. We all start off really nice. But somewhere along the line, you get it in your head, I have money, or I have an opinion, I'm the best cook for Shatine. Something eats the person. I have the best job, I have the prettiest wife, something. And the person starts to talk in a way. Imagine, I know Durga, I know Krishna. They use religion to force their opinion or their attacking mode on other people. And instead of you bringing sattvic, you come across very tamasic, very base. Because what it is a form of bullying. It is a form of saying, I am better than you. You are no better. I am better. I am bigger. And whether in the school system, when children do it, when the pundit want to outbeat the other pundit and outdo, I know more than he and I better than this one and that one, none are right. In the family, in the job, is the same thing. In this Katha, the person who learns from the mistake of Satrajit, you may have a good relationship and you are powered by the divinity of God and you are given good and a lot of upliftment, Sitaram. But you, the person, could contaminate that and spoil it. You take the blessing of God, the life, the time, the effort, and instead of you add value to people's life, you add all forms of discrimination and all forms of hurting. Please see, you live in a world where all type of slaughter and all type of mayhem is happening, but Lord Krishna in charge. It seems strange, but remember, for every action, it have a reaction. And that too is real. When you listen to these type of discourses, check yourself and see if I have to change anything with this mouth. Be proactive. Don't be reactive, only doing Gayatri Havan. God, I know my mouth is good, you know. I know I just say things I should account for it. I don't want that trouble. I don't want my face twist. You like to use your tongue for bad? Trust me, you just see people face twist every day. It has happened. Don't wait for your next job. I'm going to happen in this one. I don't want that. So I'm doing Havan. Good, that is good. Another better way is be proactive. Don't say it. If you can't say something good, nothing wrong. Stay very, very, very quiet. Nobody ever vex with you. Try and see if the God inside of you could get a little more activated. And just as Satrajit had that glowing gem, let the Devata that lives inside of you glow a little bit. So that when people see you coming, nobody will say, oh God. But they might like to converse with you. They might like to get your opinion. Imagine I went in the back and I cooked bhaji. I so like to hear how you would talk. Hey, taste this. Tell me if I cook this thing correct. Now I'm looking for your advice because of who you are rather than, oh God. And it's praise we're talking about. It's praise, just praise. Imagine being related. Imagine being married. Imagine being the neighbor of somebody like that. It wouldn't be nice. God could be walking in your life, but you're living in hell. In a scenario like that, what to do? What to do? Everybody put your hand together. Namastasye Bhagavate Krishna Yudhav Karma Ye Pal Ananta Yadhi Bhutanam Kutumbasya Ye Nama Pratyena Satrajit Nathaya Shatadharma Mahimna Par Tasya Yasya Kshuruye Tam Shatayo Janaye Namaha. Blessed is the person that listens to the interaction of God and his devotee. Just as Satrajit inherits this gem, a person gets blessings from God. A person inherits great wealth from God in the form of health, in the form of the human birth, in the form of the time. But then the sinful person, the tamas, the person who has tamasic tendencies, that person takes these gifts and squanders it. Be like Jaman. Blessed is the individual who listens to the Katha, that they gain everlasting devotion, as Jaman did, that stood the test of time and allows him to fulfill his desires, to fulfill desires and achieve the goal of interacting, mixing, playing with the Lord. Om Tatva Aham Bhalo Nunam Ye Mani Shatadhanva Kisim Chinvat Purushta Yatam Manave Purubrajaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. As we conclude this session, everybody, let's all stand for Arti. Sajam cha varti sanyuktam grahina yojitam mayam deepam grahana devesham trailokyati nirapaham. Jai Jai Bhagavat Bhagavan ki hai aarti. पापियों को पाप से है तारती. जय जय भागवत भगवान पर ग्रंथ ये मुक्ति पंथ ये पंचम वेद निराला नव ज्योति जगाने वाला
अमर ग्रंथ ये मोती पंथ ये पंचम वेद निराला नव ज्योति जगाने वाला
हरि ज्ञान यही वरदान यही
हरि ज्ञान यही वरदान यही
जग की मंगल के आरती
पापियों को पाप से एकारती
जय जय भागवत भगवान
की
है आरती
पापियों को पाप से एकारती
ये शांति गीत पावन पुनीत पापों को मिटाने वाला हरि दर्श दिखाने वाला
ये शांति गीत पावन पुनीत शापों को मिटाने वाला हरि दर्श दिखाने वाला
है सुख करनी है दुख हरनी
है सुख करनी है दुख हरनी
ये मधुसूदन के आरती
पापियों को पाप से एकारती
जय जय भागवत भगवान की
आरती पापियों को पाप से एकारती
ये मधुर बोल जग पंद खोल सन मार्ग दिखाने वाला बिगड़ी को बनाने वाला
ये मर्द बोल जग बंद खोल सन मार्ग दिखाने वाला बिगड़ी को बनाने वाला
श्री राम यही घनश्याम यही
श्री राम यही घनश्याम यही
प्रभु की महिमा के आरती
पापियों को पाप से एकारती जय जय भागवत भगवान की है आरती पापियों को पाप से एकारती जय जय भागवत भगवान की है आरती पापियों को पाप से एकारती गोविंद बोलो हरि गोपाल बोलो गोविंद बोलो हरि गोपाल बोलो राधा रमन हरि गोविंद बोलो
राधा रमन हरि गोविंद बोलो
गोविंद बोलो हरि गोपाल 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 बोलो
राधा रमन हरि गोविंद 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 बोलो
त्वमेव माता च पिता
त्वमेव
त्वमेव बन्धुश्च
सखा त्वमेव
त्वमेव विद्या
द्रविणं त्वमेव
त्वमेव सर्वं
मम देव देवा
त्वमेव सर्वं
मम देव देवा
ॐ शान्ति 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 हरि ओम प्रेम से बोलो उमापति महादेव की, पवन पुत्र हनुमान की, श्री आदि शक्ति माता की, वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की, सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय। जय जय सीताराम। Sitaram, everybody. Please have your seat as the surgeon